So go back to the question. Whose fault is it if you don't know? As a child, as a toddler, as a baby, as an infant, 100% your parents. But from like 10 on up, that percentage is going to start to change and vary. And as an individual, it is up to us to either apply what we have learned in every best way that we can, or where we see we fall short at, it is up to us to go out there and seek the information or the knowledge and obtain it to apply it to where we need to apply it. You feel me? The thing is, not a lot of us do that. Not a lot of us do that. A lot of us, when we don't know things, like sometimes we may not know and we clearly just don't know. Like we had no idea. We had nothing to be a role model for what we have learned. Like some of us, we don't know certain things and we just don't know. Like we weren't taught at all. And some of us, let's just be real, we have heard, or we have seen, but we have not sought out the information that we need to be knowledgeable of certain things in life. For example, this brings me to the main topic today. For example, some people just can't be alone, and that's because they don't know what it takes to survive on their own, or they don't know how to learn to find out what it takes to then use and apply what they have learned. So they fear being alone. Like that actually is a term. I actually went to Google and I searched it up. Understanding the term is called monophobia. There's other terms that they have for it also, but we're going to use the term monophobia. That's the first term that came up when I Googled this. I Googled, why can't some people be alone? And here we go. Monophobia. And this is from Psychologists Anywhere and Everywhere. Psychologists Anywhere, Anytime.com. You can go to this website, Psychologists Anywhere, Psychologists Anywhere, Anytime.com. And on there, they have a breakdown on what monophobia is. Monophobia is the fear of being alone. Some people really suffer from this, and it's breaking down in different aspects. Monophobia, it says the fear of being alone can make a person feel very insecure, anxious, and depressed. If you fear being alone, you may become over needy of other people and feel as if you must be around people at all times, while we all, to varying degrees, need people in our lives. Meaning, like, human interaction is the key essential tool of human development and human culture progress. Like, we need to interact. So being alone isn't always, to a certain extent, a good thing. That's why it says, while we all, to varying degrees, need people in our lives, if you feel you must have people around you all the time, then this need is controlling you. The need of always needing people around, that is what is controlling you. Understanding monophobia. Knowing by a number of names, autophobia, isolaphobia, monophobia, and fear of being alone, the problem often significantly affects the quality of life. It can cause a panic attack. keep you apart from loved ones and friends, and play total havoc with your life. How does the fear of being alone keep you apart from loved ones? I tell you why. Because you're so needy and you're so dependable. Like, this goes a long way, right? Check this out. The fact that people can be so dependable on other people is because they have a fear of not being able to, how I want to say this, they don't want to fail. They don't want to make wrong decisions. You know, they have not reached a place to where as though they can try, fail, and get back up, and try, fail, and get back up, and still have the aspiration and motivation and inspiration to actually, and determination to actually succeed. Some people have come to the point of failure to where as though they are at fear of being alone, and it causes them to have a monophobia type of aspect of life. To where as though them being so clingy and needy to people often sometimes pushes people away from them. Because it'll be times and situations to where as though a person is needy and clingy, and they're also at doubt to the fault that they have. You know, like the first topic, whose fault is it if you don't know? Some people will defend themselves and claim it's not their fault that they don't know. And when they're needing help and so clingy to people and so dependable to people, and they're trying to help them and critique them, constructive criticism, they have a hard way of taking it. And that makes it harder for the other individual that's trying to actually help that person. You know, you feel me? Like, they're suffering from a phobia. Little do they know, monophobia, because you can't be alone. Like, not saying isolate yourself alone. Like, it's a difference between being alone and the aspect or essence of actually feeling alone. Feeling without a void that you have. So you try to surround yourself with people or involve people in things so they can do stuff for you and figure stuff out for you, because you're at fear of trying to solve things and figure things out for yourself because you have failed in certain areas. So you'll find somebody always jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship because they feel like they have failed in relationships. So instead of them being alone and having to deal with themselves and fix what they need to fix within themselves so they won't fail in the next relationship, they'll jump right into another relationship and put the blame on the next person on why that relationship failed, and put the blame on the last person on why that relationship failed. And that leaves a lot of people fucked up, because you never get the help that you need. You in relationships, out of relationships, in relationships because you don't want to face the fact that you have to deal with yourself. So you don't want to be alone because you have already this void in yourself of loneliness because you can't accomplish what you are trying to accomplish. Far as being a good husband, or far as being a good wife, or far as being just a good partner in your relationship, a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you feel me? So since you are at fear of failing that, you have this, or not even you have a fear of failing that. Since you don't feel like you amount up to others that are actually prospering in those areas where you are failing at, you feel alone. You feel a void. You feel something missing because you have not came to a place of fulfillment on what you're trying to fulfill in life, a purpose that you feel like you may have. So with that not being filled, or with that purpose not being met, you have, with that purpose not being met and other people reaching those purposes that they have or fulfilling those fulfillments, you feel left out and alone. You see your sisters, you see your cousins getting married, having kids. You try, get in a relationship, try to be a girlfriend, try to be a wholesome person, you know, somebody responsible and productive, and you know you fall short sometimes. But you self-destruct the relationship and then throw the blame on them, and instead of being alone and dealing with yourself and all of your internal conflicts and whatever you may be going through, you jump right into the next relationship so others don't see, oh, the problem is actually you. You don't want to be alone. You already have the void, the feeling of the void of being alone, and you don't actually want to physically be alone, so you jump into another relationship. And with that, they have the relationship be a wall or a disguise of the actual person that they are. Meaning, they'll be in a relationship, and that relationship is the disguise that they're okay, they're good. You see, I'm in another relationship. It wasn't me. When in all actuality, if they was to stay by themselves, other people and them, their self also, will learn the problem is me. They don't want to do that. They don't want to face that. To be alone, not the feeling or the void of loneliness, but to be alone causes the individual to actually have to face themselves. Face the liar you are. Face the deceiving person you are. That's what that is. Face the hubris pride that you have. Face that misogynistic vibe that you may have. Face that whore, that promiscuous side that you have. That's what would have to happen. That's what would happen if they decide to be alone, and they know that. So instead of them being alone, they have to face that they're at fault and what they didn't know. They would decide to, you know what, I'm gonna jump back into a relationship. Some of us do it without even knowing we're doing it. It's a subconscious thing. It probably stems from a childhood trauma, to be honest. Like if you go onto the website, what's it called again? Psychologist Anywhere, Anytime.com, they will show you how a lot of people that face the disorder of monophobia, it stems from a childhood trauma that they have not overcome yet, and they are at fear to actually face that with being alone. So instead of facing that with being alone, they would rather be amongst other people instead of being by themselves. So a lot of us have traumas. A lot of us have things that we deal with. And sometimes it may cause for us to actually deal with it alone. Not completely alone. You know, seek some help and let somebody walk you through some steps that you can be able to take and face what you need to face when you're alone. So, whose fault is it? At a certain time, at a certain age, when you young, when you a jit, you just a little toddler, you know, a little pee-wee, little peon, you feel me? A little jit, you feel me? A little no baby, you know, all of that. It's 100% your parents. 100%. But as you get older, that percentage change. 10% is on you. 90% is on the parents. 15% is on you. 85% is on the parents. And it just keeps on going to the point that you, as an adult, are solely responsible and have to take accountability for what you either don't know by just not knowing and not being aware. And when you find out, now it's your chance to actually learn. You're responsible for that. And the other side is when you know, when you don't know, but you've heard it, but you don't take the initiative to actually further your information on it. That's your fault. You got to take accountability for that. You know? And you might have to do it alone. And that may be hard. So you're going to need some help. That may sound confusing. What the fuck you said I got to deal with it alone, but I need some help. You need some help on how to do it alone. Yes. Go speak to a therapist. Go to a counselor. Go to your family psychiatrist or something. Go to your family doctor. I don't goddamn know. Seek some help though. Because you always clingy, you always dependent on other people to fix things in your life, when in all actuality, it was you that got yourself there. So you got to take responsibility and accountability and deal with it and face it and fix it. You feel me? That's what GLO is. You know, it starts with an idea. First you have to have the idea, understanding that, you know what? Somewhere down the line, I fucked up. Or somewhere down the line, I can do better. So you know what you do? By yourself, seek help. By yourself, learn, read, do the research. You feel me? Don't be too dependable for other people to solve problems and fix problems in your everyday life. Some of that stuff you're gonna have to do it on your own. You feel me? When I started my job as far as like home health care, and my mom came out the hospital, the doctors gave me the paper, gave me the sheet, showed me the instructions, gave me some guidelines and examples, and they helped out. And for the most part, I still had to get out here and do that shit on my own. Even with the certification and all of that, yeah, I was still nervous. You know, I still had some seconds. I'm like, yo, would I be able to do this? I thought about it. Sparked the idea. I said, yeah, I'm able to do this. Why? Because I'm going to learn. I'm going to figure it out. And I'm not going to do it all by myself. I'm going to seek some help when I need help. Point blank, period. And when it comes time for me to deal and handle with stuff alone, that's what I'm going to do. And so far, so good. I like what's going on. You know, even got a whole second job and looking and hopefully to move up in the company. So if you out there and you find yourself falling in the line of somebody that has monophobia disorder, you should actually go and get some help. You know, you actually need some help. You shouldn't be dealing with that on your own. Now, if you're somebody that just feel like that you are clingy and dependable on other people, but it may not be so far as having a monophobia disorder, you still also should try to find some time to either seek some help or find some time to deal with what you need to deal with internally and fix it. There's nothing wrong with trying to fix things that are needing fixing of. That's a better way I can fix it. Better way I can put it. You feel me? But yes. With that being said, we're going to end the show right there. It's Grind Like Overtime Show. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you guys come back next week. Make sure you like the video. Leave some comments. Share your thoughts. You know, share this, John. Help us build the platform. Follow along with the algorithm so we can push this out. It's Grind Like Overtime. You already know. It's your boy TWAN'G. Let's go!